Kirsche is an upstarting VTuber, which is becoming more popular by the day because she is offering something that the market lacks. I personally consider her, I don't know if she identifies as such, but I consider her more of a right-wing VTuber. You know, it's expected that all VTubers need to either be apolitical or incredibly left-leaning. But she isn't one of that, and because of that, her channel is growing constantly. She talks about how she watched Tim Pool's videos, didn't appreciate Tim Pool's take on other VTubers, offered herself to go in the studio and confront him on this, but Tim Pool ignored her. Still, it was a funny exchange, but my point is, right, like, she watches Tim Pool videos. Harmful, dangerous, right? And on her birthday, YouTube has given her the gift of a community guideline strike. Now, I'm looking at this, and here you have YouTube punishing her for a 5-hour and 15-minute stream. Now, I gotta say, I do watch Kirsche, not religiously, but I do watch some of her content, and she is not a hateful person. Like, she is not going to bring upon the rise of the Fourth Reich. As far as I know, she doesn't want to start a political movement. She has no intention in getting any person harmed. So what I do suspect that is happening here is that she may have misgendered someone. Now, it's interesting because on YouTube, misgendering was allowed for many years. Twitter was the platform that banned it. And now it's allowed on Twitter, but it seems that it's not allowed on YouTube because the Daily Wire did get a lot of community guideline strikes and channels demonetized for talking about trans issues. Now, the demonetization, they don't really mention what exactly caused it. I do assume, like everyone else, it must be because of misgendering. But as you can see here, you know, like, hate speech is content glorifying or inciting violence against another person or group of people. And we do not allow content that encourages hatred of another person or group of people based on their membership of a protected group. Kirsche isn't doing this, right? But they may have watered down the definition to the point that it includes misgendering. I do not believe that misgendering glorifies or incites violence. Now, it can be very offensive for the person getting misgendered. I do agree with that. But I do not see it as being inciting violence. And what I find interesting is that they are watering down the definition of what is hateful. And most left-leaning people agree with this new take. But I were to ask left-leaning people if YouTube would start banning individuals that advocate for Drag Kids Story Hour, which I have seen, right? Like, vehemently advocating for it. In fact, it should be mandatory if possible. Every child should benefit from that type of dancing education, right? That is actually linked with a lowering of support for LGBT issues. Like, there have been people polled who have changed their allegiance from supporting the LGBT cause into not supporting it simply because of this talking point. The Drag Kid story, it bothers them, right? So, if that is the case, if that point of view, if that talking point actually lowers support amongst the normies, should we not also consider that hateful and start, you know, asking YouTube to take measures against channels that promote it? Well, I'm pretty sure the left would be outraged then, right? Why I'm outraged, though, is that these rules aren't clear. Like, if you want to consider misgendering as being hateful, then state it, right? Like, Twitter at least made it public that they have stated this is a new policy we have, this is how we're going to do from now on, right? You can't expect to allow things to go a certain way for the previous 5 years and then unilaterally changed it, and you're noticing people are getting just bewildered. It's like, what? Why am I getting all of a sudden suspended? And by the way, like, to assume that this is not a controversial issue, I mean, Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, which is a very far left and very renowned publication on the platform, is having issues with being called a birthing person. And being called a birthing person is not hateful. I mean, you know, it's very offensive to some women. Apparently, Anna Kasparian takes offense. But can we even have a normal conversation about it? Can this ideology even exist without its critics being constantly afraid to speak out against it because they're going to get their channel shut down? I mean, Kirsche is very milquetoast. I'm sorry to say it, Kirsche. You know, you're trying. I see you're trying to be edgy. You're not. You're not more edgy than the average person on the street. At least, you know, I'm not aware of you saying something more edgy. So, you know, if Kirsche, an anime girl, is getting punished for like what? We don't even know. It's a 5-hour stream. And this is why I don't stream on this platform anymore for more than 1 hour. A lot of people ask me, it's like, hey V, why don't you have guests? Hey V, why don't you stream for more than 1 hour? I don't know. Like, if I stream for more than 1 hour and I get tired, and you get a little bit of a slip of a tongue, or you say something that you shouldn't, or you accidentally show something on a screen that you shouldn't, that's a community guideline strike. Or if you have a guest and the guest says something that they should, that's a community guideline strike. You only are allowed to get 3. After 3, the punishment is so severe. You're never allowed to create a new channel ever on this at all, right? And all of your other channels get suspended. So this is why you see that the content on YouTube is getting more and more stale, more and more boring. It's becoming more and more like cable, because this wasn't the case 5 years ago. Like, 5 years ago, you were also not allowed to encourage hate, but the definition of what hate is was a lot more restrict back then. Now it's a lot more broad. It can mean anything. Even jokes. Like, the concept of policing joke, like, there was even a word for it, like joke policing, right? Like, it was bizarre. Like, what type of person does that? But now jokes, metaphors, anything that is, like something that you would say if your mother was there. I mean, Steve Bannon used the metaphor, heads will roll, right? This is a metaphor that many people use. It's not something that encourages violence. It's like saying, God damn it. Like, you don't necessarily have to believe in God. You can be an atheist and still use that expression. It's a metaphor. But of course, the moderators of YouTube interpreted in a disingenuous way, as if he was encouraging for actual violence, and he got banned off the platform. And this is the situation that a lot of content creators are in. Because of that, everyone tries to be sanitized, everyone tries to be safe. We do not get any more South Park jokes or Beavis and Butthead type of content. And eventually, the reason I like VTubers was that you have these cute girls that are saying dumb shit, and it's funny and it's hilarious. But apparently, even this is not allowed. Like, someone like Kirsche, which, again, like, if Kirsche is too problematic, I mean, maybe you should stop watering down your definitions of what problematic is. Maybe you should restrict them just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Like, Kirsche should be the standard. He should be the echelon. It is just bizarre, I do think that maybe this is to do with YouTube's new CEO, maybe, or the fact that elections are coming, but, I see channels like Geeks and Gamers getting in trouble. There was another guy yesterday had his channel demonetized for nudity when all he did was play League of Legends. So he wasn't even showing any type of content or talking about anything lewd. It's just like... And you keep seeing these things ranking up. And, to me, as a content creator, it is scary, of course, because it can happen every day. But as a person that likes to watch YouTube and enjoys watching content, it finds it more and more difficult to find content to watch. Because everything needs to be sanitized, and everything needs to be the same, and everything needs to have the same people saying the same shit you see on TV. And that was like the whole point that people started watching YouTube, to move away from the fucking television. YouTube used to be a little bit more edgy. Now it's becoming like Facebook, a platform for boomers. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.